Robben Ford, welcome to Zurich.
Thank you.
Came here on a train because you live in Paris these days.
Yes.
When did you move there?
Well, Kelly and I arrived in Paris on April 11th. And this is having spent a month, the whole month of December we spent in France looking around because we wanted to, before we moved here, we wanted to make sure we were doing the right thing. So we spent the month of December, absolutely felt great about it. April 11th we arrived and spent a month looking for an apartment that we would be happy in. Found a place and moved in on May 11th, coincidentally enough. And so we've been here since April, mid-April.
Which is about half a year. Do you like it so far?
Well, we love being in Europe, and we've already gotten around, done some traveling, you know. Been up to the north of France, we've been to Ireland, we've been to Italy, we've been to Iceland. Of course, that's not Europe, is it? I don't think it's considered Europe. And now Zurich, you know, for 4 nights in Zurich. Very happy about this, you know, to be here for the Jazz Orchestra.
So glad to have you.
Thank you.
What is the main difference between living in Europe as a musician and living in Nashville where you used to live?
Well, as a musician, I sort of didn't come here as a musician, you know? I mean, the choice to move to Europe had nothing to do with being a musician in a way, other than Europe has always been a very important place for me as a musician. And, you know, I'm backing off, you know. I don't want to tour. I don't want to work very much at all. Just do occasionally beautiful things like this, you know, or take a train to Zurich for 4 days and have a blast, you know, playing with a great band in a city that I don't really know, and then go back to Paris, you know. So this is good. So far the plan is working.
The next question might be a bit awkward then. I was going to ask you, you seem to feel at home in almost any kind of music. And I was going to ask, is there a genre that you really like but you haven't played yet that you would love to? But maybe you're going to tell me, I don't want to play that much anymore anyhow.
Oh, no. No, I love to play. That's, you know, talking about this is kind of wild because I haven't talked about it very much since I got here. But I love to play. I just don't want to work. So Europe fits very well into that plan for me because of the lifestyle, and also, you know, there's a lot to do here if one wants to, you know. But anyway, I'm not exactly comfortable in all styles. I'm comfortable in myself as a musician, you know. So whatever I have, whatever the musical situation, I'll do, you know, I'll bring what I have to bring, you know. So to me, it's like going to potluck, you know, and I'll bring the mashed potatoes. So at least it's something to eat, and, you know, you may or may not like it, but it fits on the table. And it's really just kind of I'm able to be the musician that I am wherever I am. So I'm no master of, you know, styles or anything, you know.
Well, that's what you said. It's not what I think, but anyhow.
Well,
I was trying to think, if you play in a small form, it's in a trio or in a 4-piece band, as opposed to a big band, what is more relaxed? I mean, I was thinking maybe if you play with a big band, maybe it's more relaxed because you don't have that much to do, but maybe it's just the other way around. What is it really like?
Well, the opportunity to be able to, you know, playing with a big band is so different than playing with a different type of ensemble, right? So obviously, so it's a new world, and, you know, I've probably played with a big band in this way maybe 6 times, you know, in my entire career. So every time it's new, and I'm like, you know, I have to be very alert and I have to pay a lot of attention, and I'm always got my eye on the conductor. If it's my trio or my quartet or quintet, it's just like straight ahead, I just do my thing. So in this case, it's almost more stressful. But if, given some time, I did a series, actually I've done it more than 6. I did a series of dates, I think 4 actually, yeah, so I've done more, in New Zealand. We did 4 cities in New Zealand with a big band there. And by that 4th show, I started feeling like, yeah, and I don't have to play. And with my band, I'm playing constantly, right? Supporting the thing. So you're right, the opportunity for relaxation is high in the big band situation. But you just have to know the lay of the land, You just have to know what's coming. And with the big band, I'm like, now? Okay, I'll zip it. Play? Okay, I'll play. It's like that.
Very good. I read some place that you started out as a saxophone player a long time ago. Does playing with a big band ever make you want to pick up the saxophone again?
Well, I was never that good on the instrument, and finding the guitar was probably auspicious for me. And I found it at a pretty early age, but I continued to play the saxophone and the guitar, all the way into my early 20s. And with my own bands, I was playing saxophone and guitar, and writing instrumental music for what was kind of a jazz blues group, sort of like what I do now. And so once I started being hired to play the guitar, and no one was interested in my saxophone playing, it was easy for me really to let go of the saxophone.
Do you still own one?
No. And I actually, I have always had some interest, I know how the horn works, so I can talk to saxophone players and I know what's going on with transposition and things like that. So I actually borrowed a saxophone from Tom Scott. I don't know if you've ever heard of Tom Scott, a great reed player and writer arranger. I borrowed an alto from him, and he's been given 1 million horns, so he didn't care if he ever got it back. But I picked it up, put it together, and played it one day at my house, and I lasted about 15 minutes. And I just went, this isn't going to happen, because of this. It's the embouchure. Right. You're biting your lower lip, I mean, that's how you're taught to play the horn. So you get a callus back there, And and the wind thing is just a whole nother kettle of fish, You have to practice breathing and, really to be good. So it's just like, nah.
So it's not exactly like riding a bicycle.
It would be a waste of my time.
I see.
You
So Ed has arranged some of your music for big band. What's that feel like, hearing an ensemble of that size play your songs in what I assume is quite a different sound? What's that feel like for you?
It's very exciting. I mean, playing, with the big band it's a rare and a great treat for me, absolutely, I call it BB King for a day. So I'm king for a day, I'm BB King for a day. And it's just such a blast because, wow, what a setting, like you are meant to be surrounded and uplifted and presented, with a big band like that, the soloist, It's just a privilege, to have this kind of a situation. And yeah, I'm very grateful,
So hey, thanks so much for taking the time. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Take good care of yourself.
Thank you. I'll try.